is the coach for the goalkeepers in Sweden. You've probably seen him in the goal area for many years for Sweden. By the way, on your behalf, I'd like to wish him happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mats. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday. Mats will be giving a lecture to start with, that is training for goalkeepers, and then the Ponto Combo team will be playing again. They will be back again. They'll be in the room. And that's for the goalkeepers. The goalkeepers, well, they didn't have much to do with Mr. Bigler the other day, so this time the goalkeepers will have to work more with Mats. Okay.
Thank you very much. And I hope that you still got energy to be here for another hour, 15 minutes, something like that. And I will try to give you something. Everything can't be new. Something will be something that you heard before. But I will always try to give you something new in the way of my thinking of goalkeeping, because I think it's very important that we try to develop the goalkeepers. When I'm talking about goalkeeper training, it's fundamental with 4 parts. Before I go into the introduction of my theoretical part, I build it from first of all with the physical part. Then we have the technical part, we have a tactical part, and we have a mental part. It's not always so easy to be a goalkeeper that people think. We was talking about here outside, was talking with Katarina, who will help me later on. And some people is talking about the goalkeeper is most of the time they think is the less intelligent people that goes into the goal. I say it's the opposite. You need to be the most intelligent person to go into the goal. And I have a lot of reasons to say why. I can just ask you that you are players or you are people out there, and you say, if you look at the game and you are a goalkeeper or you're a player on the court and you're a defender, and you look at Nikolaj Karabatic is coming with 110 kilos, full speed from the half court, running to score a goal, and you're standing in there as a defender by yourself, and you have to defend him. You have to take him 100 kilo. If you have to choose between 100 kilo Karabatic or 500 or half kilo ball, what do you choose? Who is the intelligent one? The goalkeeper. Because you choose the ball, not 100 kilo Karabatic. Okay, that's small part to be more intelligent. It's a little bit joking. But a part of that, to be a goalkeeper, a good goalkeeper, it's necessary to be also using the brain a lot, not only the technical part. I can see a lot of trainings, I can see a lot of places where we just work the technical part, we work the physical part, but we don't work a lot with the tactical part, and try to help the goalkeeper to be focused. If we look at the goalkeepers, today at the top level of the world, one of the biggest difference between the top goalkeepers, men's and women's, is the focus when you're playing. How focused you can be on the game, how focused you can be on the ball, and you can be anticipating what will happen. So that's a little bit I will try to give some information about how I try to develop a little bit of my goalkeepers in this part. Okay, let's see. I'm right now working, I'm a lucky guy, because I'm working with 2 federations. I work with the Norwegian Handball Federation, where I'm working as a goalkeeper coach or member of the trainer team for the women's team, and my specialty is with the goalkeepers, with special winter with Kari, Silje, Katrine Lunde. And then I also, in the Norwegian Federation, I work as a developer of giving courses, seminars, and about handball in general and everything. And then I'm also working with the men's team and for the Swedish men's team. That's why I'm here right now. And I will be helping the Swedish team to prepare the goalkeepers, so we're helping them to prepare here. So I'm very lucky to be working with Mattias Andersson, Mikael Appelner, and Andreas Palicka, who's here in this time. So I'm a very lucky guy. I'm working with the best of the best. So that's also, but to reach that level, I've been also been working with a lot of younger, and I know exactly what we need to be up there in the top. If you look a little bit backwards, to look forward, we have to go backwards. So if we start to look a little bit comparing what's happening right now in the world of goalkeeping. If we compare the London Olympics with the Rio Olympics, we can see in the women's tournament there wasn't so big difference, because in the general, all the goalkeepers with all the teams, all the games, all the shots, everything was counted. The official statistics from the IHF was saying in the London we had a level of 33% of savings, and in Rio it was 32. Could be acceptable, 1% going down. But that's a little bit dangerous, because if you look at this for a long time behind, you can see it's get 1% down, 1% down, 1% down, 1% down, and finally will be what's happening in the men's. Because in the men's tournament, what we could see was this. We were going down from 33 to 28 in 4 years. From 33%, it was in London, the general average for all the goalkeepers. And the goalkeepers in Rio was 28. And a lot of the goalkeepers was the same goalkeepers that was present. That was playing in the both tournament. That's why we can't say, oh, it was this team was playing, that team was not players. No. The level was more or less similar. We have the same goalkeepers, we have everything. But it's going down 5% in 4 years. In my brain, it starts to ring a lot of bells, or started before this. This was a little bit of confirmation, the feeling that I had. And also looking at European championships and world championships, comparing it. We can see it. The level of the goalkeepers of the saving percent is going down. The level is not going down. When I look at this a little bit closer to it, you can see in the 9-meter shots, it's going down from 45 to 41, the average. And my opinion, what is happening, why is it the shooter scoring more goals from 9 meters now than they did in London? I have some answers to that, I think, because I'm also been studying why. And one of my answers, if we're looking at the men's handball, is that the players right today are shooting better. Even in these last 4 years, there have been a big development of the shooting. And how is that changing? Important for if you want to be a goalkeeper trainer, to know what are they doing. The players that are going to shoot the ball, what are they doing? How are they training? What are they developing? What are they trying to fool us to the goalkeepers? And we try to be a little bit step in front of them. And when I'm looking at the videos, I'm looking at the games, I can see there are especially two things. The first thing is the shooting before, in the old times when I was playing, we were shooting with the shoulder. Then the Balkan people were starting to shoot with the elbow. Much complicated for us to see what the ball is coming. And now the last years, or the last 5 years, 10 years, is we're using more and more the hand. And the last thing is we're using the fingers. So the players, not only the wing players, so I think some of the back players have learned. We have the famous Mikkel Hansen that is doing this for a long time, shooting with the last touch with the fingers. We have the wing players that always try to make the last change with the fingers. And now I can see also the back players are using more and more shoulder, elbow, hand and fingers. And they twist the ball in the last moment. It makes it more complicated for us goalkeepers. So that's why we can't train the old way, because it's not so easy now to see where the ball is coming, just to see the body. Another thing, what is happening is also that the goalkeeper or the players have been better in the way of choosing when they should shoot. They are choosing the moment better than before. They have a better decision making. Before the players can say, we make a combination and now I should shoot. Now you make the combination, no, it's not a good opportunity, I play. The players are better now. The development of the players to the back players is going a huge step forward. That's why I think that we have 45 to 41% of savings, and now we're going down 4%. We have in breakthroughs, the penetrations, we have going down from 25 to 17%. 8% less saves for the goalkeepers. It's a lot. It's a lot. But there I have another thing that I think is happening. You've been talking about a little bit about the referees, the way of looking at the game. That's one of the things that changed in our game. Before it was, and I don't think this is, in this case, it's not going to worse. I think this is better, because we are protecting more the players that is going in attack. That really means that the players that go in to penetrate, to shoot against the goalkeeper, now is not receiving so much physical contact. The defenders knows if the players pass by, I don't push him. And if he is pushed, he needs more time to look at the goalkeeper, to prepare himself against the goalkeeper, to look where the angles is, where can I shoot the ball. So that's why what I think one of the big things for the goalkeepers is more complicated today to be a goalkeeper, because you don't have the same help from the defenders that we had before, when there was more physical contact in these situations. Now the defenders is going away. I don't want to have 2 minutes. And I don't want to have 7 meters. So we let them shoot. And then let them shoot is easier for the shooter. The last thing, then it's going more down than ever, is in the wing shots. In the wing shots, we went from 36% of savings to 26%, 10% lower. Now it's ringing all the way in my head. 10% lower. That's why. I think one of the things is the same, both of these things that we are talking about right now. Both things what we are talking about right now. One thing is even the wing players are getting better and better, shooting better and better. And also the wing players defender is letting him shoot. Because if they go into the situation, there will be 2 minutes, there will be penalty throw, and we have that problems. So we let them shoot. And if they are without any contact, it's easier to look at the goalkeeper, easier to go into the situation. So that is one part of what we as a goalkeeper coaches or coaches, when we try to train our goalkeepers to look at this, how will it be in the future? How will it be in the future? You know, sometimes we can't manage what will happen in the rules. You have been talking here before about the 7 against 6 rules. I'm not a fan of that. The opposite. I'm against it. I don't think it's good for handball. I think that is one thing that is going to take away some good parts of the handball. And this is also one small part in this, but it could be bigger in the future. Because when you're playing 7 against 6, of course there will be more opportunities to make score goals. And I know in the statistics now, there's no extra column that say if the goalkeeper was out. If the goal is going over the goal, the goalkeeper that was inside, he has the goal against him. So the statistics will be lying. But and we are a third thing also about this percentage because of these rules is that today everybody will play 6 against 6 when I have one player out for 2 minutes suspension. I will play 6 against 6. And that was one part when the goalkeepers had more saves, when we played 6 against 5 in defense and can make a little bit more saves. And now suddenly we play 6 against 6 and the goalkeeper has less percentages also. So that's a little bit of statistical part. But this is, for me, interesting when I want to analyze it. And as I look, and I'm working in both worlds, and the women's and the men's part. And I can see here that in the women's handball, we have been going from the Beijing from 34 to 33 to 32. In the men's, we went 33, 33, 28. And as I'm working in these two parts, I always tried to, or my philosophy, I say, it's no difference. There could be a little bit different between the physical height and the players in the women handball. The players are not so tall. They don't have so a big wingspan to reach the balls. But the way we've been training physically and mentally has been the same. I'm not too sure that it will be that in the future. Because with this change of the players and the back players shooting that hard, with that kind of shooting and the wing players, we don't have that level still in the women's. It will be coming. But we are not there yet. We are not there yet. So I'm right now a little bit thinking, is it necessary to make a little bit changing in how to train the women goalkeepers comparing with the men's goalkeepers? Because it's a little bit different. And we can also think about the position of the goalkeepers. How in the ground position. I'm always been a fan of being a little bit of the boxer style, a boxing style, that we should be standing with the arms a little bit down so we can work from the middle, both in women and the men's. But today, sometimes the men's should be probably a little bit higher up, because it's not with a shooter from the backside, it's not so easy to reach the ball. It's going so fast and it's going with so small twisting and changing the direction of the balls. So maybe I will be necessary to say to my goalkeepers, okay, open up. We should be standing up more with the arms to go directly on the ball, not going from the boxing style. I'm right now treating that with myself, looking at videos, see what could be the best style for the future goalkeeper in the men's handball. All this I'm saying now, and then we say, well, but Mats, what happened yesterday? Yesterday we saw a fantastic game from the French goalkeepers. And there was no 28%. That was 67 and 50%. So maybe this presentation I'm doing, I just have to throw it away and say that this is nothing. But I think that was one game. I hope for the best, because handball for me, the most beautiful part is the goalkeeper. So I hope that we can continue to see the French goalkeepers and all the goalkeepers in this tournament play on that level. At least the Swedish ones. Then I'm happy. But it's a little bit of development now in the game that is very interesting. When I'm talking about the methodology of the goalkeeper training, I just want to introduce you a little bit about how I think. You can see it good. The lowest levels, it's what I call the simple technique training, lowest. This is where you have 100% control of the shots. And the visible shooters and shots. This is the traditional way of training. A lot of goalkeeper trainers do this kind of shooting, that we have the goalkeeper can see the shooters, can see it easily. We work with techniques from the wings, we work with techniques from the penetrations. It's not, we work also with the techniques from the back players, but it's what I call a simple technique training. The next level is the complex technique training. That's why I want to introduce maybe a little bit more today, because my level with the goalkeepers, that is, we use very, very little today simple technique training. We use more the complex technique training. The complex technique training is the shooters have options. We have to train the goalkeepers that they have options. Before it could be more, okay, you should be here shooting to the right, you should be shooting to the left, you should go there, you should work with the technique. No. Today, that's a little bit old-fashioned, because that is not, the shooter is too good today. So we can't just prepare the goalkeepers to just be knowing that the ball will come to the left or to the right. So they have options, or they are hidden shots. The next level is what I call reading the shot. And that means we have to try to read even more from the body language of the shooter. The situations we choose. We will have some exercises today that we are putting the situation that the attackers are 2 against 1, 3 against 2, because I want to have a lot of shots. But I also want to see the goalkeepers to read the situation and take the decision. Will this really be a shot from the back court, or will it be from the pivot player? Will it be from the back court, or will it be from the wing? That is maybe the big difference between a good goalkeeper and a really good goalkeeper. I was talking, for example, with one of my goalkeepers in the Norwegian team before the game against France that we should play in the European Championships in December. And we had played against France several times during this summer and the Olympics, the preparation for the Olympics, and we were looking at the videos. And we said we had some problem with the pivot players. The goalkeeper didn't have so high level of saving percent against the pivot players from the French team. And we were looking, why not? And then suddenly I saw it, or I showed it, and we started to discuss it. Because in that moment it was just this reading the shot. It was not enough good, because when the Pinot was making the pass into the pivot, the goalkeeper was still waiting too long time to go into the position, to go into the right position. She was not reading the game, she was not reading the shot, because she was waiting too long that Pinot should be shooting. And when she saw that the ball was going into the pivot, then it was too late to go into the right position. So a lot of the goalkeeping is not when you're making the action to save the ball, it's what you're doing before. It's what you're doing before. If you can see the best goalkeepers, what I can see is the goalkeepers that is making a less effort to save the ball when it's in the action, because they have made a preparation to be in the right position, in the right moment. They don't need to make so much effort. This is also what I call reading the game, situation during the game. So this part is what I normally put my training in. I think to myself, what kind of training, what is the objective with this training? What is really, now for example, when we are here, I can use a lot of complex technique training, and I will use reading the shot training with my Swedish goalkeeper. The complex technique training could be trained, for example, like we did today. Before I came here, we had a training with the Swedish team. We made a complex technique training, because I wanted to, after the traveling, after everything we did today, I wanted them to have a training there with power and at the same time quick decisions in the brain. And then tomorrow we will make more or less the same with prepare the body and the brain. Tonight when I'm coming back to the hotel, we will look at the videos. We will play against Bahrain tomorrow. You will come to look at that game. And I hope you will see the good goalkeepers from Sweden. But the preparation for that game is right now complex technique training for my goalkeepers, and not so much about reading the shot or reading the game. We have done that before. They should be prepared now in reading the game and reading the shot, because now I want them to do it. You have to think when, in what part of the cycle of training are we? In the microcycle, if we go into the game, or we are in the long term. Because, for example, simple technique training, the best way if training simple technique training is when you're a long way away from the goal, or from the game. In the summer, when you have months to do it, because when you're training a goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that is thinking when he's in the goal, he's not good. You should just be in there doing the action. And if you're making exercises that the goalkeeper has to think about the technique and how to move the body, he's slow or she is slow. So they have to be ready with that part. We can also talking about reading the game, reading the shot. We will do that tonight when we look at the videos, because they are prepared. They know what to do. And the simple technique training is this, what I said. Shooters, the goalkeeper can see them, small exercises like that. The complex technique training is where I hide, that's what we will be using here. We will be hiding the players. We will be making some small exercises in that. We will have some exercises with reading the shot, where the players are coming up will shoot, he will be free, and maybe we can say to the shooter, you should be, for example, an exercise that I like a lot is that they should decide before they shoot. For the goalkeeper, when we're talking to coaches, you never say to a shooter that you should decide before you shoot where to shoot. We say the opposite. Look at the goalkeeper, don't take a decision before. But if the goalkeeper have to learn how to read the body language of the shooter, he must have a possibility to read the body language, and then the shooter can't change his decision to shoot up to the left or wherever it is. And we have also then reading the game. Reading the game is exercises that we are as close to the game as possible. We play 5 against 5, 6 against 6, 3 against 3, where we have the equal to see the situation that we really have in the games. But we all have to train in all different levels in different parts of the year and different parts of the week before the game. So, what I normally say, I want to make, to finish this theoretical part, I will distinguish between two things, goalkeeper trainers and goalkeeper coaches. For me, it's a big difference. Because the people that is goalkeeper trainers is a lot of times working just with a simple technique training or the complex technique training. People that come working physically, people that make a lot of shots, put the goalkeeper to make some exercises, to make some technique, just to move around. That's one part of it. What I liked more is when we go over to, let's see if I can have this one, to step forward. There, no, we had this one. Here, when we're a goalkeeper coach, then it's less talking about the techniques. We have passed that way, but we have more in the mental, of the brain, of helping the goalkeeper to reading the shot and reading the game and the complex training. So it's a big difference, because when I'm with a national team or wherever I am training with the goalkeepers, maybe I can have 15, 20 minutes of the training. I can be on the court doing what I want to do. For example, when I'm with the Norwegian national team, with the women's or with the men's team, my agreement with the coaches is that, okay, you have 20 minutes. That's yours. I'm here, I whistle, I do what I want to do. And the rest of the time, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes when we have training, I'm not going home. I'm there. I'm talking with my goalkeepers. We're talking about the situations. We are talking about, why didn't you go out further on? How did you think in this situation? What technique was you thinking to use in this part? Why did you take that decision? Good. You made a right decision. That's coaching. So my main part of my job, or this part to develop the goalkeepers at high level or to reach the highest level, is just to be, it's necessary to be a coach, to understand. It's not only thinking about the action, which technique. But sometimes I say, I don't like goalkeepers when I see the keeper, we have a defender, we have a goal. The goalkeeper is there a little bit sad because he received a goal, and the team goes up to attacking. And sometimes we can see the goalkeepers who goes out and they say, I should have made this technique. If I took down the elbow a little bit more, or if I took up the leg a little bit more, I have saved the ball. No. Maybe if you had seen it a half a second earlier that it was going to happen, you had been 10 centimeters closer to the shooter, and then it's no problem. Because a lot of people are thinking, oh, it was not using exactly the right technique, it was not taking the hand exactly, I didn't have the foot exactly. It doesn't matter. It matters, but it's not the most important part. The most important part is, how did they come to the game? How did your position? How was you in the timing? Was you too early? Was you too late? Was it on the right to the left? And then the technique is the last part of it. But a lot of goalkeepers and a lot of goalkeeper trainers put that as the most important thing, the technique. It's not the most important thing. When we look at the games now here during the World Championships, or we look at the Olympics, we can see a lot of different techniques. I have videos about that. It's not to talk about today, but I have a very interesting video to look about for the men's from the Olympics, where I can show different techniques from different levels. For example, Niklas Landin was chosen the best goalkeeper in the world in the last World Olympics. He has an excellent technique. And Wolf, he was in the last European Championships, he was elected the best goalkeeper in that tournament. There's two goalkeepers with two totally different styles, totally different techniques. And nobody can say one is good, one is bad. Because they're both is using the best of themselves. And that's what I want to mean. We can't put in a technique on a goalkeeper. That is the best way to be a goalkeeper. We have to look at the goalkeepers as individuals and look for the best for each one. And that is our job as coaches, goalkeeper coaches, to find out. And that, for example, when I will finish this one, for me, now, if you go and look to Sweden, we have two goalkeepers, Mikael Appelgren, tall, very strong, very big, and we have Andreas Palicka, smaller, but very quick. When I work with him, when I discuss with him, when I'm coaching them, I have to coach them totally different, because there's totally different techniques, totally different timing, and when they should use the strategies. So it's very important for you as coaches to know that it's not one way to be a goalkeeper. It's a lot of them. But you have to find what is best for my goalkeepers. And how do I work with my goalkeepers to reach the highest level.